hi, this is Ken Gidge, and this is Gidge World, or it might be gidgeworld.com, simply because I'm an artist, and it's gidgeworld.com. That is my website, but my show's name, Gidge World. So, but we might, and I also haven't been giving out my email address, which is kgidge@aol.com. And Facebook, if you would like to befriend me, go to Facebook. And whatever happened, ladies, whatever happened to the time you just give your phone numbers out? And my phone number, 864-9332, 864-9332. Let's get down to some important business. I have two ladies here. They're both from the Telegraph. I have Jeannie Dibella, who's the HR person, Human Resources, from the Nashua Telegraph, and I have Kimberly Lencki, and she's the event manager. And ladies, I'm glad you're here.
Well, we're very glad
Gidge World
to
or
be here.
gidgeworld.com. Have you figured it out?
And we're going to friend you on Facebook and call you and
at night, late at night.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Gidgeworld.com.
I don't know how we're going to make it through this half hour. Hour, actually, if everybody's having fun. But I don't want to get too serious, but we sort of got to a degree because it's that time of year. Actually, it's all year, but it seems that it's this time of year when we must try to help individuals. And the Santa Fund has been in existence for how long?
50 years. Yeah, this is an exciting year for us because this is our 50th season of collecting gifts for local children, and we're very excited to get the campaign going this year.
And what are you doing so far?
Well, we kick off the Santa Fund each year with our Santa Fund Run. Well, actually, we've only been doing that for 35 years, even though we're in our 50th year. But we kick it off with our Santa Fund Run, and we did that the beginning of November. We were scheduled to do it the day that it snowed, so we did have to reschedule that. Caused Kim a lot of stress, but we kick it off with that, and then we deliver donation boxes to local businesses to help us collect donations, and we start advertising that we're open for donations, and magically people start donating. Kimberly,
you're the event manager. It snowed the day of the run. That drive you crazy?
It sure did, but it was okay in the end. We had a great team of people. Our publisher decided that we were going to reschedule it, and to reschedule a run of this size, we were told was next to impossible, that it would never happen, but we make the impossible possible, and we rescheduled for November 12th, and we had 600 or so runners
600.
come. Yep, we had well over 700 runners pre-register, which was a record for us, and it was just a fantastic day.
And how did you make money on this run?
The registration fees, and people actually bring in donations, toys, and money. But for the run, it's basically about the registration fees.
How much money did you guys make off that, or is that a trade secret?
No, we're still actually calculating things because, I mean, there's some of the expenses of the actual run that come out of it, but we're over $6,000.
Wow.
Just for the run.
That's great.
So to get it started, that's really nice.
What other events do you do during this period of time?
Specifically for Santa Fund, we just do the run, and then that run kicks off the Santa Fund
and you go to business, shows like this, I would imagine, also advertising, and I believe we do have a great TV station here in the city of Nashua, TV 13. I'm sure you guys will be doing something there. The Santa Fund, well, you know, I had done radio for 6 years here in the city of Nashua, and it's really important. Who do you guys work with besides you're the Telegraph? What agencies, anybody else you guys work with?
Absolutely. We work with the Salvation Army and the Nashua Pastoral Care Center. And basically, they're the ones that are taking all of the applications from people in the community that need help. And we're just in the business of soliciting the donations, collecting them, and delivering them to the agencies so that they can distribute them right before Christmas. So they do the bulk of the work, and you know, have to make the determination on who gets the support.
They make the determination.
Yes.
In other words, you give them basically money and/or toys or food or whatever you collect.
Yeah, we collect new clothing, new toys, and lots of money.
Well, I like the lots of money. In fact, what I'm going to do right here, I have a $10 bill.
Outstanding.
Okay, I have a $10 bill, and the camera's right there, and I'm going to give you guys $10. And if everyone gives at least $10, that would be good. We would
be
appreciate
amazing.
that
Yes.
because the Santa Fund is very, very important. I've worked with the Salvation Army, and they depend on you guys and you guys out there. Absolutely.
Yes.
So, what is the time? You're right on the time of year right now where it's, I guess, just getting started. Is it rolling? I mean, where are you right now?
Well, we have 12 different drop-off locations throughout the local area in Nashua, Amherst, Hudson, and we even have a Meineke car care center in Concord. So we've delivered boxes for them to put out in their lobbies so that people can come in, their customers, and bring their toys and donations. We also are collecting at the Telegraph offices in Hudson, our Telegraph office in Nashua, downtown Nashua, and also at the Milford Cabinet. It's at those 3 locations that we can actually collect the money. And we do keep a log in the Telegraph to update people as far as the amount of money that we've collected, and if anybody wants to put a message in the paper, just who made the donation or in honor or memory of somebody, they do have to come into one of our offices or make the donation online for us to get that information.
That's always been one of the big things during this time of year when the Telegraph does publish names if they wish to, and that's really nice. There was a time when I truly believed that I would do this anonymously. But the problem was, here I am doing radio and I'm doing things anonymously, and now I'm doing TV. But the problem is people don't know what I do, and when they find out what I do, maybe they will do it. So, but still, there are a lot of people who give money anonymously, and I love when the kids give a little money. And
They do. Yeah, it's very touching. I have the privilege this year of going through all the donations and creating the log where Jeannie has done it in the past. And it's always touching to see, one, Jeannie's mentioned, you see the same names year over year, and then you also see the young children donating their allowance or birthday money to the Santa Fund Run, and their message is everybody deserves to have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, it's, when you really come down to it, it is for the children. You know, and it's hard. We are sort of in rough times at this particular point, but so everybody should give a little something, simply because it is for the children.
And every little bit
some
helps.
places around Nashua where people can drop toys off or new clothing or.
Yes, we actually have 12 different locations. There's an assortment of Meineke car care centers throughout Nashua, Merrimack, Amherst, and Hudson. We also have Bernie and Phil's Furniture near the mall, Ameriprise Financial in Trafalgar Square, Best Ford, that one of our newest drop-off locations this year, Best Ford Lincoln on Amherst Street.
And you don't have to buy a Ford. You can drive in with
No, you certainly can. I'm sure they'd love to talk to you about that. But they're just collecting the 2 Triangle Credit Union locations in the downtown area. Good Dale's Bike Shop.
Yes.
A lot of people use that
Yes,
location to
yes.
drop off. It's amazing how many gifts we get from that area.
And Wingate's Pharmacy.
Wingate's Pharmacy, downtown Nashua, they've been amazing. And also Chiropractic Works, Dr. Scott Chesla in Hudson. So they work with us. This year, we asked them to help us out a little bit more. In the past, we've had a courier go back and forth to their locations to pick up the gifts. And this year, just with the commitments that we have internally, we don't have as much time to be out on the road collecting all of the gifts. So we've asked the drop-off locations not only to collect the toys, but to deliver them to our offices. And as I was writing the letter to the businesses to ask them if they could take on this additional burden this year, I was worried that maybe they wouldn't be able to. But I mean, there's a couple of them that just really weren't able to make the commitment. But for the most part, everybody said yes. They're more than willing to help. And there's a certain amount of excitement when they bring them to our building and we have our little sleigh in the lobby and they drop the toys in there. And it's just a really good feeling. So very exciting.
Well, again, it really is always for the children, but it's like the grown-ups, we've got to do something. And as we were talking before, it's not just now, it's year-round, but this seems to be the moment where we can wake people up to realize that it is important, it is for the children. The Santa Fund from the Telegraph is very important. They've done great, great work, and we just must keep this going. It's just very, very important.
Well, the need is greater than ever, and in the last couple of years with more layoffs and businesses closing, certainly it's been difficult. But this year, what we have found is that some of the families are actually asking for more practical gifts. I mean, certainly kids have their eyes on the iPods and electronic gifts and things like that. But this year they're actually asking for warm coats and blankets and comforters, so more practical gifts, which really kind of tells you that they need the basics. But they also like the fun things too. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we do collect for the teenagers as well. We get a lot of gifts that are toys geared toward young children. Sure. And we all enjoy going to the toy store and picking out some of those things, but don't want people to forget about those teenagers that aren't going to enjoy those little puzzles as much. And so one of the things we're really encouraging people to do is to promote or to give us gift cards for them to places like Walmart, Target, where they can perhaps get a book or a video or to go toward a game or something like that, or those warm coats that they're asking for this year. Movie tickets. Something that's really exciting for a lot of kids is to be able to go to the movies with their friends, and they don't necessarily have the money to do that, but if they got that movie gift certificate, then they'd be able to participate.
Of all the years I have been doing this, you're the first one to say teenagers. Isn't this amazing? And actually, we've talked earlier before when I used to do this about kids needing coats and boots and something. And then there was about 5 or 6 or 10 years where it really wasn't mentioned too much. Mm-hmm. But now with the economy the way that it is, these things are really, really important. Mm-hmm. And gift cards are a wonderful idea. Yep. That never occurred to me.
Yeah. It's a great gift because it helps them with their social skills too. So if their friends are going out to eat or going to the movies, it affords them the opportunity to do the same and not exclude themselves from doing the same types of things that their friends are doing.
Absolutely. Mm.
So gift cards, also I guess one could buy movie tickets, and
Absolutely.
one can buy gift cards for all sorts of things at clothing stores, Target, Walmart. I mean, I mentioned them all if I could. The Sears, the JCPenney's.
You really can't go wrong.
No, and there's plenty of other places to go in the Nashua area where kids go and hang out, where you could go and buy a gift card for there as well.
That's right. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a short break. I'm losing my voice, so I'm going to look for it during the break. So my name is Ken Gidge. This is GidgeWorld.com, I think, or just Gidge World. Back in a moment. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hi, this is Ken Gidge. We're back. I lost my voice, so we had to take a break, but I found it. And these people are really crazy, but they're wonderfully crazy. They're from the Nashua Telegraph, and Jeannie Dibella, I love that name, and Kimberly Lencki. And Jeannie, you are the HR, Human
Resources Manager.
Okay, and you are the Events Manager.
That's correct.
Kimberly Lencki. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Wonderful. As we, other businesses, you have like, is it 12 businesses around the Nashua area that people can drop articles off? I guess you have little boxes or something.
We do.
It says it's Santa Fund.
There's just pictures of Santa. Wrapped him myself.
Oh, yeah?
It was quite the job. Those big boxes, wrapping them up.
I'm sure it
But it was a
was.
lot of fun.
HR,
I was the events manager when I was doing it, but yeah.
Businesses tend to get involved in other ways with not just the drop boxes. So, for instance, there's a local band, it's NOYB, I believe is their name, and for the past few years, they have put on a Rockin' Santa concert, and it's held at Martha's, and actually it's taking place tomorrow at 7 p.m. If you can still get a ticket, you can buy it at the door. It's $15, and all the proceeds go to the Santa Fund. And they've already raised $2,000 for the Santa Fund run. Their goal is $3,000. So if you have nothing to do, hop on over to Martha's.
There is, maybe we can get some other groups to do exactly what they're doing. And how would they go about it if they want to get in touch with you and say, we would like to contribute to the Santa Fund and this is what we're going to do?
Well, if there is an organization that has an idea, we'll definitely help them promote it and include it in our articles and try to get people there. But a lot of times groups just come up with ideas and they'll hold a concert or they'll have a toy drive or something like that, and then they call us in the end and say, can we bring in the donations? And whenever we can, if we know when they're coming, we'll arrange for our photographer to take their photo and try to include that in the paper. It just makes for a lot of fun. People in the lobby, we take pictures with their gifts, and it's just very festive. But it is amazing how many businesses just come up with ideas on their own, and sometimes we don't know about it until they actually are dropping off the donation. And then there's concerts like this one that Kim was just talking about that have gone on for years, and they just look forward to doing it each and every year. And everyone feels very good about it because they know that their admission price is helping such a worthwhile charity. Well,
and also they could get their names. Let's say for you people who just tuned in, I have donated $10 and I got to put it on gidgeworld.com. You don't have to have your name. You can give anything anonymously if you so desire. Obviously toys, we talked about gift cards. This is all extremely important. And also, you mentioned something that's very fascinating, that we're sort of like the grown-ups. Can you imagine that? We're grown-ups. It's hard to believe. But it's like we are now the people who are giving. We were the ones many times who would receive gifts, but now we're not only giving, we're giving to other people. Tell me, you told about how fun it is for them to bring gifts in and have their picture taken. Tell me about some of the things people either have said or the feelings that you have seen.
Well, we had a couple local businesses that did toy drives last year, and they would bring their gifts in and we were taking pictures. And as I was taking all of the gifts out of the box, I realized that the members of their business had actually purchased their toys or gift cards for a specific gender and age group. So sort of like a lot of times you see a giving tree where you pick someone's name off of the tree. But in this case, somebody was shopping for a girl age 8 or a boy age 12. And so I was talking to the people that brought in the donations, and they were saying how excited everyone was to go shopping and target that age group and gender, and it just made it more personal for them. Even though they didn't know, the boy that was age 12, they felt like they were making a connection.
This is very important, especially if one can afford a good Christmas. Going out, this is such a great moment for kids who have the finances and the parents who understand that going out and purchasing something for someone else is very, very important. And I think what you're saying, I mean, I've seen it. I've done work with the Salvation Army. I've seen people give, and you really feel better sometimes. When we would stand there for long hours, some of the stuff that people would say, it was very, very interesting. The kids, I just found it extremely important. Now you say you work with the Salvation Army. We may have them in. Are you guys going to go? Do you have bell ringers from the Telegraph?
We don't specifically have bell ringers.
Excuse me.
We'll gladly do.
Now, these two ladies, where's the camera? These two ladies will be bell ringers with us. Now, you see that? The Salvation Army?
We do what we have to do.
Oh,
Exactly.
no. Now, raise your right hand. I promise I will do it. No? Well, they will do it.
If that gets more donations to the Santa Fund, then I will certainly ring a bell. And not just specifically the Santa Fund, to any needy
That's right.
family, you know, it is a time of giving, and I think that gets lost in translation sometimes. So I would happily ring a bell.
It's, you know, when you are in the media, and as I said, I've done radio a long time, you see some very sad stories. I started once a charity called Poor People Out of Resources, and a person called up, it was during the holidays, and really needed something, and I said, I'm sorry, I have to give the $400 to a lady who has 2 kids and they're living in a car and a car broke down. I don't think people realize that there are people really out on that edge and need some help.
Yeah.
And the Santa Fund is one darn good way of doing it.
Well, it is amazing how many sad stories you hear along the way. As I mentioned, the Pastoral Care Center and the Salvation Army do the take the applications and make the determination on who will get help from the fund each year. But I managed to have gotten a lot of phone calls, and now Kim, you'll start getting those phone calls of people after the fact that miss the sign-ups, and you know they just tell you exactly what's going on, and it's just tragic in so many situations. And it's never just one thing that's going wrong. When life starts to become problematic, it just it hurts you in so many different ways, and you can lose your job and get sick, and you know, get evicted and all of this, and have you know, children with special needs, and it's just amazing what so many people in our community have to deal with. And all I can say is, you know, we'll try to call the Salvation Army and see if we can get some additional support. But even though the sign-ups are passed right now, I just encourage people that if you do know of somebody that needs help, you know, certainly reach out to the Salvation Army. They'll always try to help, but keep it in mind that we do the sign-ups, and we promote them through the paper and on our website. That happens in October, and at the end of October, beginning of November, each and every year. So we get so many phone calls after the fact that, oh, I missed the sign-up, I didn't know about it. But it's at the same time every year. The Care Center and the Salvation Army are promoting that. We're promoting it, and you need to get in early.
I think these are both great organizations, but it'd be nice if we could run them out of business. In other words, here in the city of Nashua, we'll use Nashua because that's where this program is being seen. It would be really nice if the Salvation Army would have to go someplace else, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that we can help. And I find it sometimes very sad that we don't help our own. And if you live in the area or in your neighborhood, and you know somebody, an elderly individual, sometimes a lot of people, families, are very proud and don't want to ask for something. So, and you've got phone calls. That some of them are pretty. As I said, imagine a lady needing $400 to fix her car because that was her home,
Right.
with 2 kids.
Yeah.
That's awful. That shouldn't happen. This is sort of like America, the best country in the world. But economically, we are going through some hard times. And the Telegraph has always been, you know, with the Santa Fund. The history of it, it started 50 years ago. Can you ladies know, how did it start? Why did it start?
The publisher at the time made the determination that he wanted to do something to help the local needy children and provide them with a happy Christmas, because he was, you know, hearing of so many instances where there was not going to be a Christmas present for these children. So he started it, and it has just gone every year since then, and certainly the amount of money, the number of toys and articles of clothing that have increased year after year. The number of families and children that have been helped grows each year. So it's really turned into something quite amazing. But the sad part of it is that there are so many people that still need help, and so we will continue to help them as long as we can.
And these people are from the Telegraph, but there are other organizations or people out there like food pantries, like the story of an individual who's going into a food pantry and there's a TV camera and they start talking. And the guy says, well, a year ago I used to work here.
Yeah.
Now I need it.
Right.
And when you start hearing something like that, if you're a grown man or a woman, you want to work, you want a job. When I hear people say people are just lazy, I don't buy that. I really don't buy that. There are people who make it bad for everyone else. There's no question about that. But there are more good people. And so if somebody's out there, whatever, don't feel that there are bad people out there, because the bad people aren't going to get it. It's the good people or the people who need it. And so drop-off centers, as you said, there's 12 of them in the area. And do people ever just call up and just say, can I start this? You're the events manager.
That's right. And the calls have already begun. I've already received at least 5 or 6 calls from businesses that are saying, oh, we want to run a toy drive. How do we get the presents to you?
Does it usually happen this way?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So it's that simple. We don't make it complicated.
See, I know I've been sitting at this table, but I guess I just didn't get it. So if you're a business out
you
there,
can just do it.
Yeah, just call us up and let us know, and we'll be prepared for you when you arrive with all the toys. Like Jeannie said, we'll take a picture or write an article.
that's great.
We also have local Boy Scout troops. There's schools, Nashua High School South, their music program puts on a concert every year that includes their concert band and their choruses, and I think it's been going on for about 14 years now. Also, there's classes in both Nashua High School South and North that just determine that they want to collect donations, and they bring in their coins that they've collected. So they come up with these ideas themselves. There was a story last year at the birthday party.
Oh, yeah, a little girl had a birthday party, and she ended up donating every single one of her birthday presents to the Santa Fund. So things like that certainly tears at the heartstrings and just shows that the little ones get it. They understand that there are people out there that don't have that need, and they just want to make it a Merry Christmas for them too.
I have a story I've never told, but I will tell it. I was Lord and Taylor's last Santa Claus in the 70s. This is true. And it was in Boston. Lord and Taylor's had a Santa Claus, and they would alternate yearly with Saxon Avenue, because that's the two people who shop. And as Santa Claus, I would obviously see a lot of kids. And this lady came in one day, and she said, could you come to the back door? I said, why? Bring them up here. Oh, no, they don't want these kids in the store. I said, what? So I went down there, and I brought them down, and they were, they were, what can I say, happier to see Santa. They said things like they didn't want anything for themselves. They wanted something for their mother or their father or somebody who was ill, or somebody to come home who left because during the holidays. So as a Santa Claus, I have experienced that. And I got in a little trouble for bringing these people in.
Wow.
But the manager of the store said, bring them in anytime, just let us know in advance so we can prepare it. I'm serious, give them jackets and boots, etc. I didn't know this.
Wow.
So I saw things like this, really up close. And it's when you start to see things like this, you start to realize that the next generation ain't bad at all.
It's very true.
I would imagine, 50 years, anybody ever come in and say, well, 2 generations of giving to Santa Fund in Nashua?
I haven't personally experienced those stories, but I'm sure that they're out there.
Yeah, I can only assume when you're looking at the donations as they come in, you start to see similar last names. So I would only assume that multiple generations.
Okay, this is
do.
your first year. You were
is.
the event manager.
Correct.
You are now the event manager.
That's correct, yeah.
And so I guess she's in for some an interesting period of the year.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm lucky because I already have a feel-good, event. I feel like I'm part of something bigger, and where I never had that experience at any other job I've had.
Something bigger, explain that.
Just something bigger than what you are, to see everybody come together for such a great cause. It makes you kind of overwhelmed with happiness and just this feel-good feeling.
Explain that. Real good feeling. You have
really
to explain
hard.
that.
Yeah, it's really hard. I love doing the daily logs because I see the numbers grow, and with every dollar that comes in, somebody else is being helped. So even though it's not my personal money that's doing this, just by keeping track of it, I feel like I'm participating.
Have you coming to the point where giving
Oh, absolutely.
is better sometimes than giving?
Oh, absolutely, yes. We're going to be doing our own toy drive and whatnot, so I already have my toys set aside to bring in.
Okay.
Because I want to feel good about giving too.
You two are going to do one.
We're at the Telegraph staff, and also our sister publication, McLean Communications, up in Manchester. The staff is just collecting donations as well, so that we can give them to the Santa Fund.
Okay, let's go over this again. Now, gift cards?
Gift
Absolutely,
cards.
yep. Items for the teens because they're forgotten. It's easy to buy for a tot than a teen or a tween. So gift cards to movie theaters or different fun hangout spots that the teens can go to.
Probably restaurants or the
Yeah,
McDonald's,
fast foods.
I suppose.
Yeah,
or-
absolutely. Yeah, and more of the essential items like the hats and the mittens and the coats.
And the boots.
And the boots.
I mean, that's definitely something that people are asking for a little bit more, and we find it different because usually kids are just asking for some fun toys. So it does show that the need is greater than ever. But I would like to stress that it is okay for kids to want some of those fun toys. It's hard to explain, but in the past, you could get comments from people as far as why are these needy kids asking for expensive electronic equipment or expensive toys, and it's because they're kids and they want the same thing that everyone else has. They aren't thinking that they're poor and they should be asking for mittens. They want an iPod. So they're just normal kids and they want the same thing that every other kid wants. But what is different this year is that there are kids that are actually asking for some of the warm clothing and things like that.
Yeah.
It sounds like almost as if they're helping their parents to a degree.
Certainly.
Right.
Instead of asking for toys. That's interesting. Well, so if there's stores out there who can contribute to the Santa Fund and or start something of taking in toys and giving it to the Santa Fund, you will distribute it to 2 places, which will be
The Salvation Army
okay.
and the Nashua Pastoral Care Center. We take all of the donations to those 2 locations, and they prepare the gifts to distribute to everyone that had applied for assistance, the ones that they were able to help this year.
Okay, we're going to be finishing up the show. Anything you guys would like to say?
Sure. If you can't get a hold of us by phone, we're online. It's nashuatelegraph.com /Santa Fund.
Okay, and here's my $10. I see this, all right, and so this will be, GidgeWorld.com, and they will be ringing the bell at some place. We will let people know
They will let you know where.
they will be. I'm going to be doing it, so I'm going to get you guys to do it
Very
too.
good.
Okay.
Thank you for your donation.
Oh, that's perfectly all right, and it's really important that people understand. You brought up some good points. Kids are asking for what? They're asking for some boots and hats and mittens. I mean, this doesn't always happen. Food pantries, we have mentioned, are having difficult times. People are desperate. A lot of people are too proud. So I believe that, I guess you guys would say, if you know somebody who might need something, again, why don't you give the Telegraph telephone number?
I might need Jeannie's help. I'm so new. I only know my own extension, but that's okay. It's 594-6471.
Okay. Well, this is, you have no idea. When there is a break, they are absolutely crazy. The camera goes on and they go, we're not going to do anything, so you'll give you a hard time. But you've really been wonderful. It would be nice if we probably could do this again. So this is Ken Gidge. This has been Gidge World. Thank you very much. And don't forget, give Santa Fund. See you next time.